The OnePlus Nord, Pixel 4a, and iPhone SE are probably the top three mid-range smartphones. They have all been made by flagship companies. Today we will use a point system to see who did it best, Apple, Google, or OnePlus, and find a definitive winner. As I speak about design, please keep in mind that this is purely subjective. When it comes to design, I definitely think the iPhone SE is the worst of the bunch. This is because of its 4-year-old design with large bezels on the front. While the design is beautiful to some, and the small size of the phone makes the design perfect for many people, especially those with small hands, and the Apple logo gives you ultimate status. The phone comes in three colors, white, black, and red. While the phone is beautiful and uses really high quality material, due to the outdated design and ugly bezels, the phone can't get more than a 5.5 out of 10. The Google Pixel 4a is a beautiful phone for those who like matte black everything. It does have a colored power button, which I love. It's also the lightest of the bunch, which some may prefer. This phone loses out on the lack of color choice as it's only available in one color, and in the fact that it uses an older Gorilla Glass 3 for the front and has a plastic back and frame. It gets a solid 5.5 out of 10. The OnePlus Nord is my favorite of the three in terms of design. It's an all-round gorgeous phone with Gorilla Glass 5 at the front and back. It comes in two colors and the blue marble is beautiful in my opinion. The OnePlus is the heaviest of the bunch and I personally like that. The OnePlus loses on having a plastic frame and in my opinion it doesn't look too special or different from the other smartphones unless you get the blue color. Overall it gets a solid 7 out of 10 and wins out in this category. The iPhone SE's display is where Apple seems to save their money the most when compared to their flagship iPhone 11 Pro Max. The SE display is extremely outdated. It uses a sub 1080p LCD panel with huge bezels and a horrible screen to body ratio. The addition of True Tone and a pretty bright screen at 625 nits is very helpful to this display. The screen is 4.7 inches which is very small, however some people may like that. Don't get me wrong, the display is more than good enough for most people. The Google Pixel 4a has a pretty average display. It does offer an OLED panel unlike the iPhone and has a 1080p display at a 5.81 inches. The screen to body ratio on the Pixel 4a has definitely improved and is miles better than that on the iPhone SE. The Pixel's inclusion of an always-on display definitely helps improve the score as well, and it scores a 7.5 out of 10. The OnePlus Nord's display is the closest to a flagship. Though it uses a 1080p instead of a 1440p display, the OnePlus has an incredible display quality thanks to HDR10 Plus inclusion. The OnePlus also offers a 90Hz refresh rate, which is encouraging to see at this price point, and this gives it a 8 out of 10. The Google Pixel 4a is the worst performing of the three phones. It uses a very average Snapdragon 730. The Pixel begins to feel sluggish after use and especially after extended periods of time. The Pixel also feels slow on regular day-to-day tasks in comparison to flagships or the other two phones. OnePlus has always been known for speed, and it's no different here. While this OnePlus isn't as fast and snappy as their latest flagship, it's definitely no slouch. With the Snapdragon 765G, it handles everything you throw at it. The inclusion of the 90Hz helps to make the phone feel even smoother. The iPhone SE is definitely the fastest of the bunch. It will fly through everything you throw at it, with the fastest chip on any smartphone, the A13 Bionic chip. While the SE seems sluggish on paper due to only 3GB of RAM compared to the 8GB of RAM and 6GB of RAM on the OnePlus Nord and Pixel 4a respectively, iOS is incredible at handling RAM and the 3GB of RAM is good enough. The NVMe storage is also significantly faster than the UFS 2.1 storage that's found on the other two devices. When it comes to software, the Pixel and the iPhone are definitely ahead. The two phones offer stock versions of their respective operating systems. The battle between iOS and Android is endless as both have their advantages. I like to use both Android and iOS as I like the customization and lack of restriction of Android, but I am trapped in the Apple ecosystem as I constantly need AirDrop, iMessage and FaceTime. So here the two phones are tied, offering the best versions of their respective operating systems. The OnePlus with its Oxygen OS is definitely a breath of fresh air and is my favorite Android UI, second only to the Pixel. Oxygen OS is very similar to stock Android, with a few added features, definitely an awesome experience. When it comes to camera, the OnePlus Nord is definitely the worst of the bunch. While the OnePlus offers the highest megapixel count at 48 megapixels on the main sensor, the picture quality is average. The OnePlus does have the advantage of having a quad camera setup at the back, allowing for multiple angles to shoot from. The OnePlus is also the only phone which can shoot at 4K from the selfie camera. This is what gives the OnePlus a 7 out of 10. When it comes to the Pixel and the iPhone, Both these phones offer excellent cameras, especially for the price. While they are both limited to only one sensor on the rear, they offer incredible quality. I prefer the image quality of the Pixel, however I prefer the video quality on the iPhone. When it comes to battery life, we have done limited testing on the OnePlus and the Pixel. The iPhone SE battery has been pretty average, scoring it a 6 out of 10. On paper, the OnePlus has a bigger battery than the Pixel 4a, however the OnePlus is powering a larger screen. The OnePlus is 4115 mAh, is significantly bigger than the 3140 on the 4a, so I expect the OnePlus to have better battery life and the Pixels to be average. The final category is any extra features a phone has over the other. The iPhone is the only one to offer wireless charging and an IP67 dust and water resistance, and that earns it 2 points. The OnePlus has 90Hz refresh rate, which earns it 1 point, and the Pixel 4a has a headphone jack, which earns it 1 point. So in conclusion, any of these phones you get will be brilliant, and I don't think any will disappoint you. When it comes to the final score, the Pixel is the lowest at 43.5, the OnePlus is next at 46, and the iPhone wins at 47.5. All in all, if you're in the iOS ecosystem, pick up the iPhone. Anyway, thank you for watching, and catch you in the next one.